Christmas is almost here, so I'm going to show you how to make custom rhinestone Christmas stockings using just a Cricut Explorer 2. We're going to go through the full process of creating a rhinestone stencil and then making the actual transfer. We're also going to head over to the heat press so we can apply it and go over all the information you need to complete this project. Everything you need in this video will be down below, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we have Cricut Design Space open. If you see right here, we have our stencils. They're all perfectly sized for SS10. There's a few elements on here. We have two names that are going to be on the stockings. I'm making two, as you probably already saw in the intro. Let's go over how we're going to get to this point right here. So we're going to go ahead and hit the link down below, and we're going to get sent to my website. There's a few packs for you to choose from. There's also individual files right here, like all the fonts that you can choose from. But for today's video, we do need the Christmas bundle. This is going to have the multiple sizes and all that good stuff. You could also even get creative with the Y2K pack. These look really cool on the stockings as well if you want to, mix and match with all the fonts and all that good stuff. So these SVG files are directly supporting me. So if you do end up supporting, I appreciate it. You keep this channel alive. Thank you so much. And I hope you can make some money off these as well. So we're gonna go ahead and once you pay for it, you're gonna get an immediate download. If you get the packs, make sure you unzip them before you use them. If you're just getting individual files, you probably won't need to unzip them. So once we're done with that, we're gonna go over to Cricut. We're gonna go ahead and upload image and just import the SVG file. It's perfectly sized. Let's say we imported the candy cane. Let's go like this. We're going to go ahead and ungroup all of them. That way now they're all individual. Uh, we are going to be not using those. We're going to do this small one, which is right here. And then we're going to go to shapes, go ahead and add a square. We're going to send to back. We're going to change it to blue. It's just easier to see, and that's the color of the flock. Boom, there we go. We're gonna highlight and then combine, subtract, and then boom, there you go. That is our stencil. These are perfectly sized. Don't try to move them or resize because then it's not gonna be exactly how you need the holes to be. If you have any questions so far, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Um, you can make as many stencils as you want. That's why you're able to like ungroup them. So that way you can move them around and do what you need to before you go to the shapes tab, add the square and actually, subtract it. That's how you're going to be able to customize as many as you want. So if you're grabbing like multiple packs and like all the font packs, you're gonna, be able to do a lot. So now we're going to go ahead and hit make, and we're going to go ahead and cut all of these out. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Or if you just have any, comments that you want to leave at this point, go ahead and let's go to the next step. All right, so we have our Cricut Explorer Air 2 and we have our laptop. This does have Bluetooth capabilities, so you're able to just connect it Bluetooth and have your vinyl cutter go. But when you're working with rhinestone flock, because it's more expensive, I like to make sure it's connected just because there is that possibility of it disconnecting, and if it happens in the middle of your cut, like you're going to be really really annoyed. um, so right here, we're gonna be cutting out my name, Christian. That's one of out of the three that I'm gonna make. I have one for my dog, my girl, and then myself. I did make my dogs already, so I'll show you guys that one after. That one came out really dope, and I'll have that for you guys as well. Like the paw that I use is really cool. Um, but the stocking size that we have is comfortably 3 by 7 inches. That's the dimensions that I used right here for the name, so that's what we're going to be cutting out first. So we went ahead and have our flock already cut out. Um, when it comes to applying the flock, you want to make sure there is no air bubbles. Um, you want to make sure you get all of them out. That way, the needle doesn't get caught on any bubbles and mess up the flock, because we're dealing with like hundreds, sometimes thousands of holes with these designs, and we literally have to make sure almost basically every single hole is, well taken care of. That's why it's important to, grab SVG files from people that, take their time and make sure all the holes are placed correctly and, supply all the steps to make sure you're able to cut it correctly. But, before we cut, we're gonna go ahead and make sure there is nothing on our needle. Good to go. You always want to make sure your needle isn't dull either, because you know we're able to go as low as, like bonded fabric plus, uh versus if it's really dull, you have a dull needle, you can crank it up to like poster board plus. These are the different options that are on the Cricut Explorer 2. Between that range is going to be, the best for you. It really just depends on how dull your needle is. So, always do a test cut when you're working with rhinestone flock. Don't try to cut a big project for the first time. Try to get a feel of where your needle is at, and then, that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this in here. If you have any questions so far, go ahead and leave it in the comment section and I got you. But make sure it's not mirrored. For rhinestone flock, you do not mirror it because we want the holes upright exactly how it is, versus heat transfer we do mirror this, we're not. So, we're gonna go ahead and start the cut. And this is gonna take a few minutes. You know, but the cool thing is, like, once this part is made, this stencil will last you years. You're able to use it as many times as you need. So it'll be good for, many Christmases to go. Or if you have more that you need to customize with the stencil, you're gonna be able to do that. We're by the time I upload this, it's still November, so it's good to start making your items for Christmas now, because these stencils could be used for gifts, in the office, all that good stuff. Rhinestones are really affordable, like on my website for 40 bucks, you can get like their 14,000 pack. I think it's like 14 to 4. You're able to make a lot of gifts, especially with these stencils. So if you have any questions about anything so far, like I said, leave it in the comments and we're gonna let this cut and I'll see you when it's done. All right, our vinyl cutter is done, and once you peel the flock off of the Cricut mat, the holes are going to be peeled right off, and this is what we're left with. This one is perfectly sized for SS10, but I might make it SS6 for you guys, just to, have that option if we are making this for stocking. So I'll probably have a SS10 and a SS6 version for you guys. That way, like I said, if there's a smaller section, you'll be able to use the SS6, because this was 3x7, and I did struggle a little bit with trying to make sure the SS10 rhinestone holes fit, because personally in my opinion, it's easier to work with the SS10. So if I can make a project SS10, I'm gonna do that. Because the SS6 ones are gonna be a lot smaller. So we're gonna go ahead and dump out our stones. And we're just gonna grab our brush tool and we're gonna go ahead and just brush them in. This part is pretty easy. Most of them fall right in. And then the ones that don't, we're just gonna go ahead and um use the tweezers and we'll be all good. I'm putting this on stockings. I plan to make some hoodies for my dog. I'm gonna make a bunch of stuff for Christmas using these rhinestone stencils. If you plan on grabbing this bundle and the starter kit or whatever, let me know in the comments what you plan to make. this holiday season. I'm curious. I'm gonna be doing some like kitchen towels, maybe like some oven. Well, I don't know about oven mitts. It might fall off if we're dealing with the oven, but I'm gonna do more research, see what else I can customize with rhinestones. Just because I feel like with the Christmas lights, these are gonna be super dope. And honestly, if you plan to have a lot of people over, and you like to show off your decorations, these custom rhinestone stockings are gonna be super, super dope. All right, it looks like we got all of them. Oh, there we go. We have our transfer tape right here. There we go. And once we apply the tape, I like to just, go over it with like the brush tool or even the scraper just to ensure all of the stones are touching the tape before we peel it up. If you have any questions so far, leave them in the comment section. I got you. Let me go ahead and lift. We're gonna look slow just to make sure we got all the stones, which we did. Now let's just go ahead and add our transfer tape back. And there we go. That is how we're going to make our transfer tape. This can be saved for a while if you don't want to make it yet or whatever. You can save this, and after you press it, you can save the tape. But yeah, it's pretty easy once you know how to do it and you have all the supplies. I'm gonna go ahead and make the rest of them. For example, here I'll show you. I have a candy cane. I have a snowflake. Let's see, I got a gingerbread man. Put him on my wall. And then I have like a bigger snowflake right here. This is what I have printed out. Right here. I did it. If you watch my short form, then you saw the one that I did for my dog. Here's a pop print. And then his name is Mochi. So I'm gonna go ahead and make all of these and make like all the transfers for all these elements. I do have all of these in the Christmas bundle, and I have multiple sizes of each one. That way, you're able to, have options if they're gonna be on bigger products. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and make the transfers, and I'll see you at the next step. All right, so we have all of the transfers made. I'm keeping this one a little bit more simple. It's just going to be the name, some snowflakes, and then the candy cane. My dogs, I did end up putting like a gingerbread man and stuff. So yeah. Oh, and I did put, like I said, the paw on there. But this is what we have. I'm really happy with how it came out. Like I said, these are all part of the Christmas bundle. So go ahead and check that out. It directly supports me in this channel. So I appreciate you. But let's go over to the heat press so we can start applying these onto the actual stocking. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I got you. All right. So for the hot fixed rhinestones, we are going to set our heat press to 300 degrees for this project, only because we are using, Christmas stockings. This material is going to be, a little bit more sensitive. So typically on like full cotton garments, I would go like, you know, sometimes even up to 350 degrees for the hot fixed rhinestones, but for this project, I am going to go a little bit lower simply because I want to protect the garment. I don't want to leave any burn marks on it. So always pay attention to the garments that you're using and just adjust your temperature, as needed. Because like I said, only for these types of garments would I do um 300 degrees. Right now I'm just checking that pressure. Just trying to make sure the checker. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and add the first transfer. We're going to put the name up top. right. Perfect. There you go. All right. So we're gonna do this for about 15 seconds. And I'm gonna go ahead and peel it slow when we're done. Just because we are doing a lower temp, so we're just gonna have to keep an eye on it and make sure all the stones adhere properly. All right. So there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and peel slowly because if any of the stones come up, we'll be able to bring it back down and press it again. So go ahead and peel slope. So one already came up. That's no problem. Let's go ahead and do that for about 5 to 8 seconds. And hopefully it got that one. But that's why we peel slowly. That way, we can always make sure if we need to repress it, none of the stones get moved. All right, we're gonna peel slow again. Okay, that one that came up is good now. Keep doing it slow. And there we go. We got all of them. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and save this because, like I said, you can use it multiple times. You go ahead and press it, but just about 3 seconds just to, ensure they all adhere. Boom. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some of these. These are going to honestly be pretty random for the most part. I don't really have a direction. When you download the pack, you can customize it however you want. I do kind of want to see what you guys end up coming up with. So if you guys end up grabbing the pack, definitely send me pictures to my Instagram. I want to see what you guys customize this holiday season. So if you notice, I did add this. This is just a pillow. It's just gonna raise it just to make sure it gets all the stones properly. So we'll do this for about 15 seconds. And like I said, if you have any questions so far, leave them in the comment section. If you're wondering about the food press that I'm using, this is a Fancier Studio 16 by 24 with the pull-out drawer. I bought it when it was about $400 right now on Amazon in my storefront. It's currently like I think like $309. I don't know, but it's like super, super worth it for the price. If you are a cheaper one, the 15 by 15 by Fancier Studio, which is the first one that I started with, if you go to my review videos, you will see it. That one is around 150 to 170, or somewhere around there. But definitely check that out. For budget friendly heat presses, this is definitely probably like my favorite brand. It's reliable. So, and if you have any other questions about the heat press, you can always DM me also, if you want to have any last minute questions before purchasing. I know a couple people ask about the HTV Rot auto heat press. That one was cool. I just wish for that model, the older one, it had the what's it called? The manual pressure. That's why I like these ones. Come on. Okay, I think this is gonna look good. We'll see. It's a little random, but it's all good. I think I spent more time on my dogs. We'll see how his came out. I'm really excited. Okay, we'll do like another 15 seconds. And these hot fix rhinestones that I'm using will last you years. Just make sure you grab the ones from my website. It directly supports me. And I also include some in the Rhinestone starter kit. That way you have a few to start with. Boom. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm gonna go ahead and add these other two snowflakes. Um, so I'll go ahead and do that, and then after I'll give you some close-ups so that way you can see the two that I've made so far. I still gotta make a third one, but at least I filmed the first two. I'll be able to show you that. If you have any questions so far, I got you. You know what I mean? Email me, leave a comment, whatever you gotta do. I'll do my best to get to you. But let me do these, and then we'll move on to the next scene. And there you go. That's everything that you're going to need to make your own custom rhinestone Christmas stockings for this holiday season. If you have any questions about anything in this process, go ahead and leave it in the comment section and make sure you start making these ASAP because Christmas is coming up quick and this is going to be an awesome way for you to make your custom stuff look really luxury. I'll see you next video and thank you so much for watching to the end.